We get a lot of comments on our videos saying if Section 8 tenants trash your houses, don't worry about it. The government will reimburse landlords for all the damages. No, they will not. That is 100% not true. You stooges.
I keep checking. I keep getting notifications from some comments. Y'all sounded real dumb. If you wasn't able to save no money on Section 8, you didn't have a hustle. You wasn't doing it right. And I'm in the drive-thru. So y'all bitch talking about some you're driving, blah, blah, blah. Suck a dick. But you cannot work and undocument the income. Y'all keep talking about something. You should have you should have had a side hustle undocumented. Bitch, are you stupid or what? You know that's a felony, right? If they tell you in your lease you have 10 days to report any income that you have, and you go beyond those 10 days, that is when they send you a letter stating that you broken the fucking rules, you broken your lease, all that bullshit, and you have to pay market rent. Market rent for the place I was at was 16 something, 1600 or 1500, one of those, 1508 I think. And who's gonna pay that? Now I pay 1300 for a home. I got privacy. I have a beautiful backyard, honey. A beautiful backyard. A garage. They got like damn near 3 big ass rooms. It's a 2-car garage. Then they got this little room that I'm gonna turn into my little content area. Then they got this little back room. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. Maybe a gym. I don't know. Yeah, yeah. I did right. I did right by giving that shit up how I was supposed to. You can't make me feel like I didn't do it right. But anyways, look at her. I got the money to buy what the fuck I want now. 2 of these. My other bags are at home. And I can't wait till she drop again because I'm going to buy some more. I keep checking. I keep getting.
Here's my thing, right? I really feel like this is the root of what puts you in the situation in the first place. You should be able to reflect back and say, man, I hit rock bottom. I was on Section 8. I didn't have nothing. It was hard out here. It was a struggle, me and my kids. So now when I have opportunities, I'm not going to worry about buying these designer bags and all this type of stuff. That doesn't matter. I'm going to make sure that I really have a nest egg and a net worth ultimately that'll be able to carry me to where I will never have to come back to this program again. But I'm going to be honest, we don't have visibility into her finances. But I'm not a betting man. But if I had to bet, I would bet that she's still living month to month. And by month to month, I mean, instead of saving and clearing the month with a little something for herself, I would bet she ends up at zero and she just feels comfortable because she possibly has a good job now. You know, things are stable now, but I highly doubt that she's preparing for a rainy day and for when life does what life ultimately does. And I think that's sad. And even if she's doing it a little bit, I feel like when you hit rock bottom like that, you need to be doing it aggressively to make sure that it is almost impossible to ever end up in a situation like that. And I doubt if she just got off Section 8, it couldn't have been that much time for you to be able to really stockpile and save the way that you need to. You need to be saving like somebody that has a bunch of student loans that got to pay off all these student loans over the next couple years, and they have to they can't do anything for the next 5 years just to end up at zero. You need to be saving for you to actually have something after that. Y'all, before we get into the next clip, if you like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second, and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you can hide.
It said Congress passed it. So yes, I believe Trump has have his hands in that too. But it's not the what y'all thinking the 2 year plan. It's just the budget. They don't have no fundings right now because he cut it. He trying to take money from the HUD and placed it wherever the fuck he trying to put it at. Stay where you at, and I recommend you go ahead and add them.
That's funny. She trying to run that clock up because she got to be on here for 60 seconds. That's what that was.
Kids right now before you receive that letter. Go ahead and add them babies. But stay where you at right now. Lala, Queen Lala, you think you okay? Y'all are not okay. Alabama's not the only state that is affected. California's not. It said Congress.
Okay, my correction. It looks like she's engaging with her comments and with her chat and all that good stuff. My correction.
Hey, I work with Section 8 all day, every day, okay? And what really chafed me today is this girl who is a nurse who has turned down several jobs because she would no longer get her housing voucher. She's been on housing for 18 years now, could fully support herself 10 years ago. But because housing was going to buy her a new house and put her name on it, she didn't want to work. And so this month, she's getting a brand new house built for her, put in her name, when the whole time, whole time, she had the capability of affording it herself. Just really chaps me.
This is what goes on when you have all these government programs people take advantage of, people abuse. And this is the problem that Doge was trying to figure out. Okay, we got a lot of waste, fraud, and abuse, stuff like this. A whole brand new house on the house. And also, like I said, these kind of programs incentivize people to not work. She's a nurse, she has the skills, she could go out there and get a certain job, but why would I want to work? Why would I want to do that when I can go get this house for free, paid for, on the taxpayer dime? 18 years. It's crazy, but that's government benefits for you.
So let me
They're taking advantage to get their time back and then do nothing productive with their time. Really picture this. She is a nurse. If you know anything about nursing, they have a very high income making ability, revenue generation ability, as well as they can work a lot of overtime. They can work a lot of overtime. And now we had the thing come through where it's like no tax on overtime. And that would be the perfect field to capitalize on that and work more. But when they have this other opportunity over here, imagine the fact that when you're destitute, you got more options than the average person. We have to go to work to feed our family. Otherwise, we're in trouble. But it seems like the people who are making the most egregious decisions, keyword decision, self-inflicting decisions that were originally rooted in fun, typically, and impulsivity, and doing the fun thing in the moment, it's like they're getting incentivized to not only keep doing that, but then they don't even have to work to be able to afford the responsibilities that they decided to take on in their own pleasure. Ain't that something? She can work as much as she wants. She can run it up as much as she wants, make as much money as she wants. But see, what happened was she saw that you're going to get a new construction house and it's going to be for free. And you have all your time. So she waited and said, or I can go to work and pay for this construction house, this new construction house. And it's the same scenario, but the difference is now I got to work. Now I can't be on TikTok all day and just do whatever I want and have company, whatever.
Right now, everyone in this neighborhood wants this tenant gone. I have received multiple calls from different neighbors, and apparently the HOA has even held a meeting about the property. The owner of this property was a referral. When I found out he was planning to rent his home to a Section 8 tenant, I told him, if anything ever comes up and you need help, call me. Well, we're only 2.5 months in, and here we are. At this point, the neighbors have all sent me photos, and it does appear to be a hoarding situation developing, and there's also multiple RVs on the property the neighbors believe people are living in. No one in the neighborhood wants to live next to that. It's not only a violation of the HOA rules and regulations, it's a fire hazard, and it's damaging the owner's property. Like, the situation is just getting worse. One of the neighbors reported seeing a 2-year-old child wandering around the property alone in a diaper, no adult, no supervision. Because of that, the neighbor told me that they contacted CPS. Another neighbor reported that there had been an attempted break-in at one of the nearby homes. They suspected it might have involved someone staying on the property. I asked if they had video footage. She said yes. She sent me a screenshot of the Ring camera She didn't send me the full video. I actually forwarded the screenshot to the tenant and asked if she recognized the individual, and she said that she didn't. I explained that the neighbors were concerned because someone suspicious had been seen around the area. And I wanted to make sure this person had not been to her property. That was really my way of trying to figure out whether or not this person might have been connected to anyone staying there. Now, another neighbor actually reported seeing the same couple living on this property in one of the RVs roaming around the neighborhood, appearing under the influence or something, or as they called it, tweaking out. Now, I confronted this whole situation in writing with the tenant, documented these things. I got a clear timeline for when they would be resolved. Because here's what you have to understand. The tenant is on Section 8 and she has both mental and physical disabilities. We have to provide reasonable accommodations. Part of that process requires us to address concerns, document them, and give the tenant an opportunity to correct them. So that's exactly what I did. Agreement as of yesterday was that March 9th is the date when all of this is supposed to be remedied. The RV's gone, the debris cleaned up, everything brought back into compliance. But this morning, I get a bunch of missed phone calls and a text message that just says 911 call me, and I am not calling this lady.
You know, this is one of those situations that kind of reinforces, sometimes stereotyping. It's not that you're doing that necessarily always from a judgmental standpoint, but sometimes it's really more so kind of the logic. It's the most logical and reasonable probability initially, right? It's kind of like if a spouse, a married couple, if one of them ends up unalived, who's going to be the first suspect? The prime suspect. It's always going to be the other spouse. That's the first thing we're starting with because it's just a high likelihood that you did it. You're the closest one to them. And you would have the biggest motive, especially when it comes to marriages, because those are typically very hard to navigate and usually very divisive, and they start going at it, and over time it just kind of depreciates and gets worse on average. So what ended up happening in this situation was they had somebody that I think she said was breaking into people's houses, and in their mind they're like, I bet it was that Section 8 house. I bet it was somebody from over that Section 8 house. Somebody they know, something. Because this just happened when they got here. But instead of stereotyping, instead of, going with their instincts, I guess, they said, no, well, let's put it through due process. Let's really try to uncover this. Do you have any proof? Do you have any of this, that, and the third? Well, yes, I do. And I have something that's actually showing exactly who it is, where you can recognize them. So then she goes over there and she asks them, hey, do you all recognize this person? No, we don't know who that is. Da, da, da. They know darn well who it is. And then it turns out that this is the person that's living in this trailer that they done hoarded on the property too, making the property look like look like somewhere like a trailer park, messing up everybody else's property value and appraisal value, and basically just messing up the way that the neighborhood was flowing before they got there. And this is a danger as well when you get into property as an investment, because you never know who could move in next door. It's not even just as an investment. It can also just be as far as your peace is concerned. Now you got to live with these people over here, and they have certain things on their yard which clearly represent what you're going to be getting into. So if you ever decide to get out of your property, you may even be willing to take a loss just because you want to get away from them. And soon as they get there to look at the property, they see that trailer right there. Then they see the baby walking around in a diaper on the front yard. They're like, oh, no, sir. Oh, no. Oh, heck no. Want nothing to do with it. So these are the risks as well that are unpredictable. And there's no way of possibly being able to know whether or not things can ultimately turn out like this.
I'm seeing a lot of our people on here like being real judgmental and talking about, yeah, they're gonna take away Section 8 and this, that, and the third, and Like, yeah, you can't be lazy anymore. But I say this: one, the majority of
He looked lazy too, don't he? He just looked lazy. You could tell.
people on Section 8 are YT. And also, too, it don't matter if our people are on these programs. You know why? Because they owe us everything. Everything. Hell, everybody in every Black Americans are the real Jews, the real children of Israel. Every single last one of us should be on Section 8 forever. Like free rent, we should be getting free RENT forever. We should be getting. They owe us everything. So watch with that judgmental stuff towards your own kind, because these people owe us everything. Okay, Bubs. Black Americans are the real children of Israel, the real Jews from the same tribe as Jesus Christ.
Here's the thing, brother. I don't know why he's living in fantasy land and because you're not going to be able to make this happen regardless. Especially not from where you're sitting in your seat with your tank top on and lounge back. That's why I said he looked lazy. He just looked like he was just too comfortable, like he'd been sitting in that position all day. But listen, man, you don't have the luxury as a man to be worrying about what's not and be acting off that. Ultimately, brother, what it comes down to is none of that is going to help you. And you're going to have to keep moving forward, and you're going to have to do things that are going to set you up. And, if you feel however you feel, then that'll make you more influential, I guess. But I see a lot of people with this victimhood where it's like waiting for something to get handed to them that's never going to get handed to you. It's never going to happen. So those are the facts. And that is the reality of the circumstance. So what are we going to do now? Because especially for us as men, we don't have the luxury as far as just sitting here, just feeling slighted, feeling like things are unfair and waiting. Nothing's coming unless you get up and make something happen. So if you're not going to do that, then you're really just wasting your time. You're wasting your life force. And it's going to be a recipe for disaster. And you're going to wake up one day and you're going to be very behind and you're going to have zero momentum. And you'll have nobody to blame but yourself because you didn't get active. Y'all, we're going to leave it there for the day. If you could like the video, I greatly appreciate it. Only takes a second and it actually helps out more than you know. And also, if you could hype. Hype is a new feature that YouTube offers where it helps smaller content creators like myself. And basically, when you hype, it actually pushes us to the extent that it pushes the larger content creators. So you press the hype button and then it will show you the points. And since I am a smaller content creator, I actually get more points per hype than the average creator. So if you could do that, I'd appreciate it. And also Patreon's link below if you want to see self-improvement content as well. But until then, I'll catch you in the next video.